Hey guys, how you going? I just wanted to explain a few things about the fires in Australia as well. But I've been looking at everything. Okay, I'm trying to get as much information here as I can. So while other people may dismiss things and think that they're, not real, quacks, whatever, I listen to everything. I listen to all sides and I'll listen to Q. I don't know if you know who QAnon is, but QAnon, as far as we know, is a team of the military. It started back when JFK was assassinated, and they realised that something bad was going on in the government. So they decided to work towards ending the globalism that they could see coming and all the bad stuff they could see coming. They were trying to build themselves up to eventually take over from the bad parts of the military, which is the military-industrial complex. Now, the normal people in the military are the ones who, I believe, asked Trump to run for president because he was probably the least corruptible person they could find. And you may agree, you may disagree, that's fine, but hear me out, please. Q asked Trump to run. Now, QAnon.pub is a website you can go to find out information that is going on behind the scenes that the media are not telling you. It's mainly to do with the USA at the moment, but it does cover the UK, Australia, Canada, the Middle East, every country. So every country. Just go on QAnon.pub and start reading. You will be amazed. If you haven't already, it's amazing. All he does is ask questions. He doesn't really... they do give information. They give you a link to articles and stuff like that to read. But once you do look at QAnon.pub, you'll see another side of things. Now, the reason I look at all these sides is because I think of detectives. Okay, now, if you were a detective, would you just accept one side of things and never question it? And just go along with that? As far as I know, detectives get as many points of view as they can about whatever the incident was or what happened to try and dig down to get the truth. And that's how we kind of need to be with all of what's going on at the moment, because we know the media are lying to us. Okay? We've just had the police come out and say the fires are due to arson, and yet our media are trying to tell us it's climate change. Another thing is, if you believe in climate change, please dig further. Okay, so what Q is about is giving us behind the scenes information, and the reason I think that this has something to do with it is because if you know what happened in California just over the last year or so, when they had their fires, and they had fires coming out of the manholes. Now, that's not a normal bushfire, to go down into manholes in towns and start coming out from manholes. Bushfires do normally go along the ground. Fair enough if there's some sort of maybe coal mine or something, but normally they just sit on the surface. Okay, and with California, it is suspected. Now, I'm not saying I know everything and I know the truth, because I don't. I'm just guessing here. I'm spitballing. I am theorising. You can agree, you can disagree. That's fine, guys. I really don't mind. But what people seem to think happened in California was either the deep state, which is your people behind your government, were either covering their own bottoms in the underground tunnels by burning it out and eliminating any evidence, or it was the deep state being flushed out. Now, I have theories about the Australian fires. Either the same thing's going on here, it's either the deep state's going to take us down with them, and this is their way of trying to do it. If they can't have the power, no one can. They want to just burn the place down. If it's the white hats, which are the good people of QAnon and the military, if it is the white hats, they could be trying to destroy the underground bases, tunnels, systems, and believe me, these tunnels go right through every country. Every country has them. You may not know about them, but they do. And they go through most of that country. I believe they may even extend to under the ocean to be able to access overseas. I'm not 100% sure on that. This is just a theory, guys. I'm just theorising here. Now, with Australian fires, yep, it's either the deep state doing it, the deep state being flushed out, or climate arsonists, climate activists trying to prove that climate change is happening, because people, they're losing the argument now. People are not believing this anymore, the climate change rubbish. Most of us know it's a lie. It's just a few others that haven't quite caught up with that yet. It was started by globalists because they want to take over. They want it. Climate change leads to communism. That's what the agenda when climate change is. Communism worldwide under a one world government, which will be the UN, running everything, and you have no say in the matter for your particular country. Okay, now I've got that out of the way. There's one more thing I want to talk about before I start playing this, and I'll narrate this as I'm going. We have a Prime Minister, Scott Morrison. People call him ScoMo, for short. And the media hate him, and so do most of the people because of the media. Now, if you know what's going on with the media lie. They're lying, full on. It's up to you to do your own digging to see whether they're truthful, and don't go to fact-checking sites, for God's sake, please, guys. Do your own fact-checking, because fact-checking sites, they all, TV, our media, everything is leaning to the left. We have nothing that is unbiased to tell us what is going on. So you need to do your own fact-checking. And with Scott Morrison, okay, I believe that Scott Morrison could be a sleeper. Now, by a sleeper, I mean he's waiting until the team tells him to activate and come forward, like Trump does with the media. Boris Johnson is another one. The media hate him, but people voted these people in, guys. So they got to, something. I believe this is the change we're waiting for. Anyway, Scott Morrison's hated by the media and most of the public because of the media. And they seem to think that, okay, there's a lot of people blaming the Greens for these fires because they stopped the backburning or the hazard reduction or whatever it's called, the backburning, I think it is, when there's not a fire already happening, it's called backburning, I think. It could be the other way around. Anyway, guys, everyone's having a go at Scott Morrison, and the Greens actually stopped the clearing of any forests back in the 90s. And people are saying, but the Greens have never been in power. The Greens hold 9 seats. And Labor, who might as well be an arm of the Green, holds 26 seats. Total that up, it equals 35 seats. Scott Morrison and the Liberals have 30 seats. Now, I want you to think about something here. If Labor and the Greens team up, they can block any good legislation from going through Parliament on the floor, because they do. The Greens hold 9 seats, and Labor, which might as well be the Greens and a progressive like a Democrat Party in Australia, do you not think they're going to team up? Because they actually, between the two of them, they want to be the Prime Minister. Do you think they're going to support the Prime Minister to get legislation backed, which is going to make the Prime Minister look good? No. They are going to fight him every step of the way so that this government looks incompetent, and so the voters will, because a lot of people don't seem to know how Parliament works in Australia. And it's just like in America, when you've got the House of Dems, they can block all this really good legislation going through if it has to be voted on the floor. And I believe the same thing's happening here. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I've read about it, and I'm trying to do the best I can with the information I've got, and I'm trying to get this information to you guys. So what I'm saying here is, when Labor and the Greens have the majority together, do you not think they're going to work against the Prime Minister to make him look bad? Because then they'll get people voting for them, obviously. They're going to vote for the other side. And they want that seat. They want to be Prime Minister. So they don't care about fires and they don't care about your safety. They care about their power and getting in. Okay, now, that's enough on politics for the moment. Oh no, it's probably not the end of the politic talk at the moment, actually. I'll probably keep going. But anyway, what I'm going to do is start playing the footage I got the other day. And I did get an interview off a horticulturalist who just happened to turn up when I was getting footage of where the fires had been. So I will narrate some of this, and then when we get to the point, I will play the interview, which is a very amateurish interview because I'm not a reporter. I didn't want to put her on camera, so I do aim the camera at the bush and sometimes at the ground, but I'm getting everything she's saying. And while I may not agree with her, she is reasonably clicked on for not having internet or any other source of alternative material. Okay, so let's go with this. Now, all this is down the end of one of the streets where I lived. It's a national park. And as you can see, the roads are blocked off to the lookout. I wanted to go to the lookout. I couldn't get down there. All the tracks are blocked off. All the roads are blocked off. Obviously, it's still a fire danger. The ground is still warm in spots. And I don't know whether you notice, all these trees still have their leaves, but what I can gather is this was the front line, so they were hosing. Okay? But I'm still surprised that there's leaves on the trees. And anywhere where you see where it has burnt out, there are still leaves on the trees. I used to live just up here on the right. And the fire got to here, and there is a house just here. There's a couple of houses just here. So the fire got right up to the doors, to their backyards. And I'll just turn the volume down on this because I don't know what happened to the camera, but it did get stuck here for a while. It got stuck on this picture and I don't know why, because I didn't stand there, I was moving. From this picture though, you can see all the fuel. Just waiting. Look, all in the gutters, all up in here, and the thick bush. It's pretty thick. Once you get, this is only the outskirts, the very outskirts. Once you go further into it gets thicker than, it's like this all over. You can't see very well. So I'm going to try and skip ahead a little bit because this did get stuck for a bit. Sorry about this, guys. I am very amateur. I'm not a reporter. I've never studied anything, but I'm trying. I'm just trying to get the word out there and try and put my point, my opinion, from what I have learnt at looking at everything. No idea what happened there, guys. Please don't tell me it's just taken the whole... No? Okay. Oh. Sorry guys, I will be back. I'll just get it to the right point. Okay guys, I think I need some volume for this part. There was a council worker as well in this area. You can see, look, it's totally burnt out. This is in Blackheath, by the way. All of this footage was in Blackheath. Sorry, it's so blurry. My camera's not very good when I zoom in. And also guys, in Australia you need fire to regenerate some of the seeds. Some of the seeds only open during fire, so it is natural to get bushfires, but this was just beyond what we normally see.
With when people saw it coming, they started hosing, and in Rodriguez, right?
Yeah.
And Lawrence, and some, I don't know where they're from. There must be city slickers, but they said you can't hose. We're on water restrictions.
Who cares? Get your hoses out.
And I'm just like, but the people who didn't hose, the fireys had to save their house because the fire came right up to their decking. Some decking went out.
Yep.
And the people who were hosing the area,
They at least had the wetness to damp
it had
it.
the dampness, and the fireys didn't have to do it. So, look, mate, I tell you what.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
And they reckon tomorrow is going to be a shit fight all over New South Wales, Victoria.
Yep, that's why I come up today. I thought I'm not, I'm not
today,
risking tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll come up today because I'm doing like a, I'm like an amateur news person on YouTube.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And yep.
I'm trying to get a footage of like after it's been through.
Yeah.
And like letting people know, and trying to get any stories I can from anyone on the ground and
what are they doing?
I don't know. He's a bloke. He's a council bloke. He's doing. I don't know if he's just spraying weeds or so. He's got a little spray
Looks
pack.
like he's spraying weeds.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I wouldn't be in there. I don't think I'd like to be in there at all. But yeah, I used to live on McLaren as well.
Oh yeah, I know McLaren. Yeah.
And just recently I moved out from Palmer Crescent.
You got out in time. Oh, it's been hell.
Yep.
There've been locals, retirees, people with kids, all age groups crying.
Oh, it would
Uptown,
be.
like just the smoke and the terror and the looking at the flames, like
You would have seen
up
them
the end of Hat
coming.
Hill Road, right? There's a crest just before you get into town. There's a crest in the Hat Hill Road. I'm just going to turn my car off.
Yeah, no worries.
And
Sorry about
in
the
the Hat Hill
camera.
Road, I was gardening with a mate, and I looked up and I went, "What's that?" And I swear, you look down here, and it's the Gospels Mountains fire.
Yep.
And I thought an atomic bomb had gone off. I went, what? And it was windy, and that's when it got out of control, and the chaps from Buxton or two who died.
Oh,
That
yes,
was the area
yeah.
to the right of it, and then they joined up. But anyway, it's like, I'm surprised there's anything left. This is...
I know, I'm amazed the trees, it's like the leaves on the trees. I'm amazed there's any leaves left.
There'll be regeneration here.
Yes.
If we get... Oh, you know about that.
Yeah, I do. I
Within
studied
6 weeks.
horticulture.
Oh, great. Yeah,
Yep,
well, that's what I
so,
do.
yeah.
Land steward, a gardener. I've got to have some fancy names for the trendies, so
Oh, of
they
course,
think I'm
yeah.
somebody besides a gardener. Otherwise, they
Yeah.
think you're just a bum.
Exactly.
To
Yep.
be used.
Yep.
But
But that's devastating. I can't believe it. The whole time I was down, because I moved down 2 months ago to Penrith, And the whole time I've been down there, I've been going, oh, please, please, God, don't let her hit Blackheath, because I'm coming to move back up here in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I only moved down because my daughter needed help.
Right, yeah, fair
For
enough.
the
That's
little
fair
ones,
enough.
you know?
Yeah.
And I want to move back up here, and I just thought, oh, God, please save Blackheath. Oh, God, please.
Oh, mate, we were. There were days where, okay, so you got the fireys on the front line, and you got people who were doing the hazard reduction. And I swear I didn't stop for 10, 12 days. And I got to the point where I'd be home by 6 o'clock or whatever after starting at 6 to help elderly people. You know, hazard reduction,
Yeah.
all that.
Yep.
Watering, all that, preparing their property, not getting a lot of money for it, not getting any money. And I'd come home and I would turn my phone off.
You'd have to.
And I'd have a beer.
Yes.
And soak in the tub.
Yep.
And then I'd turn it back on. I'd let Mum know it was all okay. Oh, I had people, ex-army buddies calling me from Townsville and Hobart and Perth. You know, how's it going down there? You know, I'm like, oh boy, you know. So, oh Jesus, it was terrifying.
And what do you think about in winter letting people grab, because you can't cut down trees and burn them, that just doesn't work in a fireplace.
Yeah.
But letting people clear the ground of fallen trees and sticks and twigs and that the council stopped years ago. You're not allowed to
that's
get
correct.
fined.
That's correct.
You know, what do you think about letting people redo that? Start doing that again, like
regeneration, or actually taking
firewood
for winter.
for your fires?
Yes.
And clearing the ground a bit. It won't clear everything, but it'll clear around.
No, but it's going to clear it.
Yeah.
And
then fire hazard reduction in winter.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea as long as it was done safely.
Yes.
And that people were, you know, like as part of a community effort, like through, you know, we've got the Blackheath Area Neighbourhood Centre and the Katoomba Neighbourhood Centre.
That's a great idea.
And we've got carers, people who care for the elderly who may need help with their winter electricity bills, and if they've got a slow combustion, that can be cleaned out, and they've got wood. So yeah, it will be a whole community venture all the way down the line.
Yes.
With supervision, but without it being too much red tape, to actually let people do that.
That's what I mean.
This is a resource. At the same time,
we want to protect it and everything, but yes.
At the same time, the authorities would say this is not a safe area for humans to be in. So once it was checked safe, and it was done through a submission of relevant, you know, community groups, and there's a lot of them up around, well, all through the mountains, let's face it.
Yes, exactly.
To say, okay, we're going to go in, we're going to do this, we're going to get trailers, people, cars.
Yep.
We've got permission.
Yep.
There could be an authorised fire, you know, a representative from the safety who can say, okay, you can go in this area and clear, but you can't go there because it's still hazardous.
Yeah.
That would be fine, but right now it's like it's too early.
Yeah.
The
right
ground is
now
still
everything's
too hot.
burnt. Yes.
You know the ground can retain the heat.
Yes.
Up to 500
degrees.
Oh, you've heard of that?
I have.
Oh wow.
I've been watching very closely.
So that's why if we get a wind and there's still hot spots,
it can flare up again. Yeah, exactly. That's why I came today and not tomorrow, because I thought, look, if there's any hot spots on the ground, you know. Okay, guys, she just said, you know, the ground can retain the heat up to 500 degrees. This is another reason that makes me think that this could also be underground. As I said, I don't know. I'm not saying I know. I'm just putting another point out there for you to think about. Degrees?
Oh, you've heard of that?
I have.
Oh, wow.
I've been watching very closely.
So that's why if we get a wind and there's still hot spots,
it can flare up again. Yeah, exactly. That's why I came today and not tomorrow, because I thought, look, if there's any hot spots on the ground, you know, and I get stuck, say I'm stuck here and it starts over there, you know, I don't want to be stuck anywhere, but...
Well, we're in a state of emergency, so
we are.
Who knows what the authorities are going to do.
Yep.
I just feel for the people who have been bereaved, and I feel for the animals, the bloody thousands of animals.
Oh, I wouldn't even like to walk through the bush at the moment, because I think you'd come across all...
In a week's time, you'll start to smell them.
Yep.
They'll start to smell anything that's gone down, your possums that couldn't get out, your nocturnals. someone over there too.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
And have you heard of Agenda 21? Do you know what
Oh.
Agenda 21 is? It's getting people off the land into smart cities with the 5G and the smart technology and everything. And some people suspect that this could be trying to burn people out to get them to move to cities and saying, right now this area is too dangerous because it's bushfire prone. You can't live here anymore.
Oh, well, I don't know. No, I don't have all that. What do you call it? Internet technology and things like that.
Yeah.
But I've got good communications networks in other ways. No, I haven't. But who knows what they're doing? There's so many agendas going on behind the scenes. You don't know who and what and why and wherefore.
Well, Agenda 21 is from the UN. They want to be the world government. They want to control every country, and they can only do it if everyone moves into smart cities, and everyone is watched, and everyone is like your recycling's watched, your rubbish is watched, you are watched.
Oh, I believe that they would be bringing that in. I don't know who would be behind it.
It's the UN, yeah.
But it would be it would make sense for who's the people who run the place, the authorities, to say, okay, we need to rationalise, and this is the best we're going to do it. Well, Big Brother's been talked about since Orwell wrote the book, 1984.
Oh, you know about 1984.
And an Animal Farm, they're both, like, I just look at it and think.
That's what a lot of people think is happening now, 1984. The news is telling us rubbish. That's why I'm out here trying to just get, like, people's opinions and footage from the ground you
have to. Social media has a lot of false leads on it.
It does.
Things like that. So.
But even the news is doing it now. The news is talking some rubbish, like
spin.
Yeah.
And we haven't got the leadership we need. I reckon they'll
Exactly.
bring back Whitlam. What a shame.
Yeah.
Or somebody, even Rudd and Gillard, or even who else? Even Howard would have actually done something. I think, even though I don't agree with his agenda, I think Howard would have even done something way before it got to the point where people were losing their lives.
Just a disclaimer, guys. I wouldn't vote for any of the people she just mentioned, but, like, to each their own opinion. But Rudd and Gillard were awful for Australia. And Howard was also not good. Let's continue.
Properly, and it became catastrophic. They've got no way of controlling it. They
Do
have
you
to
know
let
they
it
can
burn.
make? Do you know they can make rain? That Snowy Mountains, how they make snow.
Yeah.
Well, do you know they can make rain, and they haven't? It's all over. You can watch Top Gear. What's his name? Jeremy Clarkson. He watches as NASA makes rain right in front of him. It's been in the news in Australia that we sent firefighters over to America 10 years ago with the technology to make rain, and yet what's going on? Why are we not using it here?
I think there's a divide between various bureaucracies.
I think there is too.
And they're more interested in their own.
Become the fires.
They're more interested in their own patch of ground.
Yeah, I think they're more interested in that.
Yeah, so that when something does happen on this scale, it's too late. The horse is bolted.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But anyway, mate, I've got to make tracks. I've got
to go too. Yep.
Take it easy.
Yeah, you
What's
too.
your name?
Heather.
Heather, I'm Sanon.
Nice to meet you.
You stay safe.
You
I'll
too.
see you when you move back.
Yes, definitely. You keep safe here.
You too, darling.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry, I'm ready to evacuate.
Yep, that's good.
Be
Yeah,
safe, Heather.
you too.
Cheers, darling.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't know if you caught that at the end. She did catch on. But there were times there I thought I didn't exactly agree with it, but, we can agree to disagree again. So I just let her talk and just listened to what she was saying. I did interrupt her a few times. As I said, I'm an amateur. I'm learning. Next time I will know not to interrupt the person or talk over them. Okay, guys, let's continue. There the fireys go. We waved at them. I gave them thumbs up. They're patrolling at the moment. And it was really... I drove down after the fireys down this road. And everybody they came across, whether they were in cars or walking down the side of the road, everyone was waving. It is beautiful to see. And all this area is burnt in there. What I did was I got in the car and went to the places where I had lived in that area to see how close it got. And it was close, guys. Okay. This down the back here, you probably can't see it, but down the back is all burnt. I did try to get the best footage I could. So back in here, I don't know if you can see my mouse there. The front wasn't burnt. They stopped it before it got to the front here, because this is a road I'm on. And it was all deep in there. There you go. It's funny, but the fire turned all the leaves orange, but didn't take the leaves. But all the trunks are burnt. I don't know why. It just amazes me. Why didn't the leaves burn to a crisp? Because it seems to be all over, and there are deep parts where actually the leaves have gone. I didn't get any footage, I don't think, of that. I used to live here, and this was across the road that the fires had come right up to all these houses. You can see all the orange. All the orange is where it's burnt. It was burnt, and all the green is still still healthy, unburnt. Okay, guys, this was on the Great Western Highway at Mount Victoria, just another suburb up from Blackheath. And the fire had actually come up to the high. That's why they blocked the highway off. It had come up to the highway.
Went right up to the highway, guys.
I'm just going to turn my voice down. So what we have is down here, down there is Lithgow and Little Hartley. And that way there is Sydney. Going, hopefully I got the road. No, I didn't. The road is back here, behind me. So this way here leads to down into Hartley Valley and to Lithgow. So there you go, guys. And here you are for what I was talking about before, about the Greens and Labor possibly working against the Liberal Party to block any decent legislation they might want to put through to make them look bad. Okay. Coalition, the Liberal, 30 seats, okay? The Labor Party, 26. The Australian Green, 9 seats. So if the Labor Party and the Greens work together to get Liberal out of power, then one of them can take over. And do you think they're not going to do that? So anyway, guys, that's just my opinion. I just wanted to try and give people another point of view. So I'm hoping that this helps you to maybe understand, and I think that'll be it for today. One sec, guys. No, I will be back. Hang on. Okay, guys, do you remember what I was showing you a couple of videos ago about the synoptic charts? And every time they say it's going to rain, for some reason it all just dips down under and it gets pushed away from Australia. Well, it kept doing it. And I'll explain to you what I mean. For the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been watching these. This is what they say the weather's going to be, where the rain is on the green parts, which I'll click on and try and show you. Okay, for the last month or so, I've been seeing the synoptic charts looking like this. This is rain. All the green is rain. But as those days come up, what has been happening is, looks more like this. Actually, what normally happens is the whole thing just dips right under Australia. You don't even get this little sign of rain here across Australia. Here is the Bureau of Meteorology website. Sorry, it's frame by frame, so it's flicking. Normally, all this would swing around and come up and hit Australia. Mark my words, guys, you know what we're going to get next? Flooding. Australia is a land of drought and flooding rain. Now, you watch what happens. We're going to get rain and floods next, because it goes to extremes here. At the moment, we're actually looking quite lucky that we might get... We've got some cloud. Are we going to get rain from it, though? And there is the rain map. There is rain incoming, but... And it's... Okay. On my app on my phone, it's telling me for the next 5 days there is going to be rain. Another thing they've been telling us on the weather apps, for the last month they keep saying, oh, there's rain coming, and never eventuates, never. So go back to one of my previous videos, guys, because at the moment I don't think that we are able to see what I normally see, or can we? Okay, there's a few lines in here. Let me see if I can't zoom in. It won't let me. Can I? Nope. Oh, now it's just putting little dots everywhere. Okay. Don't mind that dot. I just put that there. Normally there is a big circle of interference here. There's something going on here and here, where there's always lines. Australia, Sydney has normally got... The other day I caught the rain that was sitting right off the coast and it was moving inland, but there was a big circle of where it looks like they were dispersing the rain. And I think it is the Dopplers. Where's the BOM site? Do they have the Dopplers? What's multifunctional transport satellites? Interesting. Okay. Anyway, guys, if you want to see what I'm talking about now with the weather and the weather maps, I'll try and link the video on the screen, so hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, that's probably it for the day. I hope you have a good one. Let me know what you think in the comments, even if you disagree with me. Please let me know. Okay, guys, have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!